And call the regular meeting of February 16th of the City of Cherokee Village to order. Would you all stand and join with me with the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Recognize a moment of silence, please. Amen. Ms. Clerk, can do a roll call, please?
Rowland? Here. Harrison? Here. Tatum? Heffley? Ishmael? Thompson? Smith?
Here.
And Martin?
Here.
We only have four, doesn't make a quorum.
Mayor, you'd have to vote to establish a quorum if you want to have a quorum.
Okay.
Mayor,
Here.
we now have a quorum.
All right. Before we go to the approval of the agenda, we need to also, along with asking for approval of the agenda, need to amend the agenda to remove item number 5 under new business.
I make a motion that we approve the agenda as amended and approve the minutes from last meeting and the minutes from the special meeting as presented to us. I second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, seconded by Mr. Smith to approve the agenda as amended and also the approval of the minutes of the regular council meeting on January 19th and the special council meeting on February the 6th. You got a second? Or
We have a second.
yes, we need a, is it voice vote or?
Roll call is better.
Roll call vote.
Harrison? Smith?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Mayor?
Yes?
And Rowland? Yes. Motion carried.
Alrighty.
Question.
Yes.
The mayor doesn't vote because we still have enough people to vote because we have half, as long as we're not doing an ordinance, correct?
Yeah, you're actually.
Okay. Okay. You don't have to vote when we're doing the things
Okay.
unless you really want to.
Alrighty. On to the mayor's report. Let me get my paperwork out of here. See where I put it. It get all jumbled up. Part of the things that we started working on in January, I will apologize for the council members' city emails. We've been having a few glitches. We're still working on it. It's getting ironed out, but it's going to take a little longer than I expected. The program Bluepoint that the city uses it don't agree with a whole lot else. We've had good compliments and good on the recording system. The new recording system is working really well. The clerk, she says the audio is doing really good and the video is turning out really well, so that was a good thing. The phone system that I'd mentioned to you in January about trying to get with Fidelity and some other people, I'm still compiling some bids together to get, it's going to be a lot more expensive on the front end than what I imagined, but our current phone system is it's stumbling along. It's working, but it has issues and glitches. Some of the phones don't work, some of them don't ring, the displays are out. I mean, it's an old phone system, so it's Century, or I still think of it being CenturyLink, but I guess it's called Brightspeed now. It's not a system that they support anymore. There's no support for it. So we're still trying to get some stuff together and get some bids and prices together before I bring it before the council. Miss Penny, Indiana, while we was at winter conference, had actually talked to a guy from JTS Financial. I got a booklet here I can pass around. It's just a singular booklet, but it's they're contracted with the Municipal League Health Insurance, and they can come in and provide one person, where now the city is dealing with Aflac, Washington Mutual, several different people that were paying out Modern Woodsman's for the city's supplemental insurance. And instead of paying out to, dealing with 5 different people, we can deal with one. And they're a large company that has a lot of brokerage powers in these other smaller companies. So it might be something we're trying to look at to consolidate to one person instead of 5, and hopefully save a little money. And my other part is I forgot to do this in January. I'm glad Joey's here. I wanted to really commend the street department for their work they did in the snow and ice removal, the flood waters. We kind of had a trifecta of weeks there where we had snow and ice and flood waters, and they did a really good job taking care of the roads and streets, and the police and fire departments did really good jobs of helping out the citizens in the community and still responding to calls and staying safe. Charlie's not here tonight with planning and zoning, and they did a really good job of coming in and working with Joey and got the sidewalks and the parking lot cleared for City Hall so we could get back to business in a timely manner. So that's, and what's it? Oh yeah. And what's that? Administrative assistant to the planning and zoning is going to be the person in charge of floodplain administration.
Floodplain administrator.
Yes. Or a designee. If not her, it'll be another designee by the mayor or the mayor. But it's going to be controlled through the planning and zoning.
She's your designee, correct?
Yeah, she's going to be the designee controlled through the planning and zoning office. And that's the end of that. Alrighty, on to the department reports and financials. You'll notice on the agendas, like we talked at the working meeting, we're trying something a little different. Maybe, hopefully it'll work. If it doesn't, we'll try something different. But we're going to go through the financials. Got the first page to be the fund balance.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that unless anybody on council has a problem with anything in the financials or any of the reports, that we skip on to new business. There is no reason that we have to vote on them that I know of. There's no ordinance, no state law that says we have to vote on them. And just for this particular night, until we get something straightened out, I think we should skip on to new business and just let the reports stand as they are and the financials stand, unless somebody has a question.
I don't have a question, but when we got to the fire department, there was a comment that I'd like to make on that.
Yes,
subject.
please. I forgot about that.
If you would prefer, Mayor, I'll let you do it.
No, go ahead. You.
Okay. If you have not seen this month's avenues, there's a stellar article in here with our chief of the fire department, and it is really worth reading. He doesn't get a lot of kudos for the many things that he does, and he does it in silence. He doesn't pat his own back, and there's not a lot being said. But Cal is one person that has pulled our fire department in the ranks. We've gone through a really bad year last year, and he managed to keep his personnel up and his people with him. And I think that says a lot for the man, and the Avenues kind of repeated it a whole lot better than I could.
And if you don't mind me adding, I have fire personnel in my family. One's a chief out in Arizona, and he is the most professional person I have seen in the area of the departments that I know about. So I can say Highland, Hardy, and Cherokee Village, he is the most professional person that I've seen as chief in my 10 years recording the city council meetings. So congratulations.
The only thing I'll add to the financials is and for people in the audience, if you look at the financials, the police department report and the fire department report is gonna look a little bit inflated, but it's because of the $108,000 for the police trucks that's been added to a line item in their budget so they can make expenditures to buy equipment. And the fire department's $315,000 for the fire apparatus. We had to put a line item in their budget so they could make expenditures to prepare for the new apparatus coming in. So just to clarify, if you look at the financials and they look a little inflated, that's why.
I motion we approve the financials.
Uh,
Okay, we'll just move on.
That's my only question is, are we tabling them?
No,
Or are we saying from now on, we're not gonna vote on financials?
I'm saying at this meeting, there's no need for us to, and I think in the future, there's no need for us to, unless we're changing the financials. Correct?
Yeah, that's all I mean.
Okay.
no,
They're
unless,
what they are.
I mean, but we can.
unless there's
come
a
up with-
correction, addition, or a
We
question.
can always question it.
Yeah.
Right.
So, just for time and that tonight, I figured we'd move along a little bit faster, but I have some questions coming up on the new business when that hits.
All righty, moving on. Moving on to other department reports.
I thought we did all the department reports in that was
Okay.
everybody, unless there's something that needs to be said by anybody.
Okay. And next is the old business, which item number 1 is the mayor and clerk's salary, which is continued from the special meeting, but I would say because of,
The lack of,
Ms. Clerk,
Do we have a motion to accept the financials?
we don't need a motion to accept the financials.
Okay, we're not doing any. Okay.
That's just,
well, there was a motion originally put out, so,
Yeah.
I
So,
thought my
yeah.
motion was to proceed without,
it was.
and do we have a second?
We did, yes.
Yes, we
Okay,
did.
so then, we're okay. I hope
Okay.
everything's
Alright.
copacetic.
So we're good to go.
I
And
think,
because of what we talked about earlier, and because we have so many people absent, and it's going to directly affect
right,
myself as mayor and the city clerk, we probably need to, as much as I would like to see it finally get disposed, I would think we need to probably table this till the March meeting when we can have more participation.
Okay.
and my question to the lawyer is, I don't know if we have enough to pass an ordinance for him to be able to do,
You don't.
you don't, so,
You could read it for the first time tonight, and that's about all you could do with that one.
And do the first reading instead of the emergency
So,
clause. Or I guess if we had enough in,
You don't have enough people to waive the rule or pass an
No.
emergency clause.
so we're still on old business, so
Mhm.
we cannot do number 1 because of lack of,
we'll need a motion to table it till the March meeting.
I make a motion, we table it to the March meeting,
I'll second.
and, oh, go ahead.
Mr. Martin makes a motion, seconded by Ms. Rowland, to table the old business item number 1, mayor and clerk salary, to the March regular meeting.
You can do that by voice vote.
Voice vote.
Aye.
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 Hey, that worked.
Thank
One
you.
at a time.
Just one vote, just one vote. Item number 2 under old business is what the council protocol for 2023 that we passed in January meeting, but we wanted it to be, voted for it to be amended and taken item number 5 out of it. And so we have it written now without the item number 5, so we can,
But we passed it without item number 5, so it doesn't have to come back in front of it, correct?
yeah.
So it's good.
Yep, just letting you know we're good.
Okay.
We're good on that. It's all amended. So then we're moving on to new business. And,
I am not against it. I'm for the resolution 2023-07, but it would be nice to have
enough people.
more council members here to vote on it. And basically what resolution 2307 is a snippet out of one of the municipal leagues
It
about
is.
conduct and how municipal elected officials will
Conduct
interact with each
yourself.
other.
Yes.
So, being that we lack several people to be able to pass some of these things, are there, we can only do things for first reading, so a resolution is,
No,
You can
have
pass
a
resolutions.
resolution, but I agree with you. I'd kick it on down the road.
kick it, so I would make a motion that we table number 1, 2, can we table? Yeah, it's the budget. So if we need to pass that budget before the end of the month, maybe it's best to call a special meeting to do that. That's the cleanup budget, correct?
Yes.
Is it-
So I'll skip the budget one.
Well, let's do one thing
We
at
gotta
a
do one
time.
thing at a
Okay,
time.
one thing at a
We're on
time.
number
The
1.
price- Thank you.
Resolution number 1, I make a motion that we table it until next meeting.
I second.
Motion made by Mr. Martin, seconded by Mr. Smith to table item, new business item number 1 to the March meeting, regular March meeting.
Because these things really should have more people to
Yeah.
support it.
Voice.
Voice vote.
or- Okay. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Heather's aye.
Yeah, Heather said aye. So the under, new business item number 2 is the community service 2023 budget, which it's amended. It got changed by, was it?
It just got
Yeah.
submitted wrong.
Yeah, it changed. It was 14,000 where it was submitted at like 13.
Yeah, it's $600 different.
Yeah, it was
But
like-
did that change the total budget of the whole department, or did that just change?
We
Yes.
increased it $600.
Yeah, it made it from it was like 13.2 and now it's like 14,000 even is what it
Yeah.
changed it to. It increased the budget by $600 in the community service, just in the community service budget.
And we have enough people to pass that? Okay, so I make a motion that we amend the 2023 budget for the funds that were not placed in there originally. Does that sound like
As presented.
as presented? Thank you.
I second.
Motion by Mr. Martin, seconded by Mr. Smith to pass new business item number 2, the community service 2023 budget as amended. I think I read that right.
Adding
didn't I?
that $600.
Yeah. Do a roll call vote?
Martin,
Yes.
Smith,
Yes.
Harrison,
Heather?
Heather.
Yes.
Rowland.
Yes.
Now, the mayor, if you want to pass that, you need to vote also. You
Oh.
need to vote yes.
Yes. Okay, item number 3, resolution 2023-06. That's the resolution you was talking about to approve the amended 2023 annual final operating budget for the city.
I motion we approve as presented.
Second.
Mr. Smith makes a motion to, Mr. Smith makes a motion, seconded by Mr. Martin to pass the resolution 2023-06. Get a roll call? Oh, discussion?
I would like to see, if possible, a budget that states what we passed originally, and then when we do a cleanup budget, the cleanup budget as passed in its entirety, and have them posted on the website. So there's a place that anybody in the village can go to and say, this is the budget that was passed at the beginning of the year, and here's the cleanup budget, and this is what actually was spent all total.
Peter, what we discussed in Monday night's meeting is that we're going to start looking at the budget quarterly
Okay.
and meeting to do that quarterly. It'll be beneficial for us, it'll be beneficial for the citizens. So I imagine that can go along in with what we're going to be doing quarterly.
I wanted to see it up on the, my
It would.
suggestion is to put it
Yeah.
up on the website.
It
So
would.
Yeah, it'll be
Then-
after,
I'm good with everything.
okay.
Do we have a motion? Yes, we have a motion.
No,
Voice
Yeah,
vote?
we're there.
oh yeah, discussion, got a voice, roll call vote.
Rowland,
Yes.
Harrison. Yes. Smith,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Mayor,
Yes,
motion passed.
Mr. Smith.
Ordinance number 4, I'd like to bring this one to the council. This simply allows the mayor to continue to do business in Cherokee Village as a personal entity. He'll be doing business with the city. He will get no special treatment from this. It's on a rotation on how the county handles this for every city in the county. So if his name comes up for the city of Cherokee Village, then he would come in to do a tow job for us, but it would not be under a special circumstance to the mayor.
First read.
First reading.
It'll be the first reading.
Second. Can you amend it to say title only on the first reading? Or do we have to
No,
read
you're
it?
gonna read it, you gotta read it.
Okay, never mind. Read it all the way through then.
Ordinance number 2023-02. An ordinance specifying permitting the mayor of Cherokee Village, Arkansas, to conduct business with the city of Cherokee Village, Arkansas, and prescribing the extent of such authority, declaring an emergency and for other purposes. Now, therefore, be it ordained by the City Council of Cherokee Village, Sharp and Fulton Counties, Arkansas, that, Section 1, in order to comply with Arkansas Code 14-42-107 from 1987, the city of Cherokee Village, Arkansas, expressly permits the mayor of the city of Cherokee Village, Arkansas, to continue to operate his business of providing towing services, S&B Services LLC, doing business as Hook 'em Up Towing, and to provide towing and other related services to the city of Cherokee Village, Arkansas, and to be paid for providing such services as needed. Section 2. If any provision of this ordinance or the application thereof of any person or circumstances is held invalid, such invalidity shall not affect other provisions and applications of this ordinance, which can be given effect without an invalid provision or application, and to this end of this provision of this ordinance are declared to be servable. Section 3. Emergency clause. This ordinance being necessary for the preservation of the public peace, health, comfort, convenience, moral safety, and welfare of the city of Cherokee Village, an emergency is declared to exist, and this ordinance shall be in full force and effect from and after this passage.
I have a question. Mine says the city of Highland.
Oops.
I caught that. This was given to me, and that one was one mistake I did not find. So I will correct that before he signs it.
But he can't, we can't do the emergency clause. We don't have enough people to do it because he can't vote for himself, correct?
No, yeah, no, you've done all you can do tonight.
So
Yeah,
we
you
put it
can-
on the first reading, so next month, we could do the emergency clause and get
Yeah,
it
you
all.
can go ahead.
Get it
Okay.
all,
So we've got one reading under our belt.
Yep.
yeah.
Perfect.
All right. Number 5 was stricken, so on to number 6. Mr. Gruger and Mr. George Jackson has asked for a special use permit for their neighborhood watch program. We're still contingent on insurance. It's contingent on insurance. He hadn't got his insurance papers yet, but they want to have it on March 18th. Is it from 4 to 5:30 in the City Hall parking lot is what he's asked for. But they're going to get the insurance taken care of.
Okay, I motion that we approve it contingent on the insurance being installed at that time.
Second?
Okay, motion made by Mr. Smith, second by Mr. Martin to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
And number 7 is the short-term special use permit for the Highland Elks annual turkey shoot, which will be March 18th. They don't have a time. Do you know what time?
They started.
Is it 10 a.m.? Okay, it starts at 10 a.m.
I just have a question, that we're getting more population, we got the trail out there. I'm familiar with turkey shoots that I used to do in the past. They still shoot in live ammunition? Or they're doing it some other way and calling it a turkey shoot?
I don't know
Chief?
that one.
Chief, are you familiar with how they do the turkey shoots over at the Elks?
If they get a special license to do it, and other than that, no.
But they're still using live ammunition and they're,
Yes, they are using live ammunition.
okay,
I know, I haven't been out there in several years, but it used to have a dirt bank and
yeah.
lots of wood and stuff behind it.
I'm asking you, do you think with the way the park is and everything, it's,
The walking trail's shut down for that event.
then I'm for it then.
A motion, we approve it?
Second?
Mr. Martin, Mr. Smith makes a motion, seconded by Mr. Martin to approve the special use permit for the Highland Elks Lodge. All in favor?
Aye.
Alrighty, now we're down to the public comments. And I do apologize, Mr. Hinch, I'm glad you was here. I apologize for the last meeting. I do apologize for the last meeting. Your name did get forgotten on the desk, and I apologize. So, Mr. Pinch, if you want to come forward.
So this is just the open forum that's...
Yep.
Yes.
In an effort to shorten city council meetings and make our municipal government more efficient and expedient, I have a few questions to ask Councilman Martin. On January 16th, you raised a question on overspending by all government city departments. Was the issue ever resolved? And did you inform your fellow councilmen and community on your findings and resolution?
We had a meeting the Monday after that about that here in council chambers. We came to the conclusion that there were numbers that were changing in the budget. Mr. Thompson saw the same type of thing in the income that I saw in the outgoing. And part of my problem was a misunderstanding of the brackets that they were using in the expense column. And most of it was, when I added up, like the treasurer told me that they were overages, I added up to, I believe at the time it was $105,000, give or take. So my conclusion was that that money was not approved by the city council because it was not in the budget. So I have been thus informed by other clerks in the community that some of those things could be salary, some of those things could be fuel, and things of that nature that might not be apparent for the council up until the point of finalizing the budget. So the majority of it has been taken care of. I still have a question on the NEA grant, but that is not a major problem yet.
Okay, that was my second question. On February 6th, you raised questions pertaining to the procedures and potential misspending on the NEA grant.
Correct.
Was this issue ever resolved? And
Not-
did you inform the members, your fellow council members, and the public?
I'm
Of your
still
conclusions.
looking, I'm still looking into that. I spoke with some of the people at the grant itself, and they say it's not finished yet. I'm trying to find the money or the time that was put in by all the entities that were supposedly involved in the grant, and that data I am still trying to collect. So as soon as I get that data together, I will be more than happy to disseminate amongst the council, the mayor, and the public.
I would suggest you get with the budget committee so we can inform you how the budget works and revenue in and revenue and expenses out.
And that wasn't-
Because that's the big problem that I see here is you're not taking into consideration all the money that came in. ARPA funds, CARE funds, all these other odds and ends come in. They have to be spent, and they have to be spent in certain ways. And that's going to immediately boost your revenue, but it's going to immediately show that your expenses are out of whack as well. And that's not the case. That money was all cordoned off and spent properly. So what you're doing is you're saying that's almost misappropriation.
Let me reiterate this. What I'm saying is the data that I was given was questionable. I'm not saying the budget was off. I'm not saying the numbers of the budget was off. But the data I was given, my whole thing hinged on an alderman's responsibility is creating a budget at the beginning of the year, whatever the committee came up with. And if that budget has to be altered, the only people that can alter it is the city council. And my contention was that in all the meetings I sat in, the city council never altered that budget. Now, I'm not saying that money in and money out was wrong, because we didn't alter the money in either. We didn't. We didn't say, oh, we're getting extra money in, this should be added to the budget. So technically, the way I look at it was right. But I'm not saying that the numbers that were placed in the budget were wrong. I'm just saying procedure, like you heard Councilman Rowland talk about at one of the last meetings, was most of my problem. Procedure wasn't done right. And there's going to be a couple bumps with the new mayor and everything else on how everything should be seen. And it'd be nicer that a simple person like me will be able to see numbers where I can understand them a lot easier. But I didn't say anything about the budget committee itself.
I'm not saying you accused us of doing anything wrong.
I'm just saying the budget committee, I have no problems with how they did the budget or the budget that they produced, because the numbers that you put there were correct. I was worried about changing the budget. Was it done or was it not done?
This has to do with procedure as well.
And
your
Mr. Hinch.
procedures. If you are going to present
Mr. Hinch, with this
your
been 5 minutes.
objections, be prepared for documents for the council and everyone else here.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
Hinch.
sir.
Miss Heather, you still on the line?
Yes.
I want to thank you for being on the line with us. I want to thank everybody for being here and showing up. I want to thank all the council members
Thank you very much.
for being here.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
Enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all moving this on. I got a concert to be at 8, and I apologize for not being there. And I thank y'all for letting me be on the phone.
All right, no worries.
I guess that being the end, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Seconded. Mr. Martin moves, seconded by Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.